Quiet on the set. Action. You're hot.
This is John Allward coming at you in the rant room. I'm not going into a whole introduction thing. We all know that. I'm doing an outdoor rant room, and for good reason. Because I want to be outside. It's nice out, and I need the pace. As some of you have seen me before, I talk about my blood pressure being up and being in nosebleed territory, and I actually was there about 10 minutes ago in nosebleed territory because I'm just so stinking fired up over this whole business about the People's Act. What, look, here's the bottom line. If you're a Democrat and you vote and you support Democratic policies, then we really don't have anything to say to one another. We can debate if you're willing to debate and agree to disagree at some point, which it seems to me that those of you on the left fail to understand the simple concept of agreeing to disagree, and you either have to have it all your way or no way. And you've proven that for the past 2 years, that you are more than willing to completely trash this nation of ours just to make a point because you don't like the president. Well, here's a little news flash. We had to put up with your crap for 8 years and the nonsense that went on in the White House. The complete and utter out of control spending that took our debt to dizzying new heights. And now the snowball is going down the hill, and I don't know if it can be recoverable. I mean, President Trump has come in and we're seeing some very good news on the short-term economy, thankfully. But in the long term, I don't know. I don't know if he can even stop it. It's $22 trillion and counting. These are numbers that before this were utterly unthinkable. $22 trillion in debt, just us alone. And it just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting. And these idiots, they want to completely torpedo anything that this president wants to do. And now they're breaching into this People's Act, which will allow illegal aliens to vote, which is completely absurd. I would like to hear, whether here or on Facebook or anywhere for that matter. Actually, I'd like to hear it over on the patriotscorner.com. I'd like you to come down in the rant room or wherever, whatever forum or chat you want to choose, but go there and sound off about this. And I want to hear from leftists, to be truthful, because I want to understand why you would allow people who aren't even citizens of this country to vote, to make decisions based on people who are citizens, or for people that are citizens. I want to know what your mindset is that you would be okay with somebody who doesn't even live here making decisions on your behalf, because ultimately it is on your behalf, because they're going to be carrying a vote if this bill even has a chance of going through. It's insanity. What the hell do you want somebody coming from Venezuela? Why would you want them to have a vote? Well, it's a very simple explanation. Largely people that vote that are here illegally, evidently the statistic is they would vote well into the 90 percentile for Democrats. So this is why they're pushing this. They want these people in here. They want their votes. And what will ultimately happen, they will be in power forever. because they're going to be getting the people that they want to vote. So let that sink in. You're going to have Obamas and that ilk controlling this nation forever. The Republicans will not be able to get back in there unless there's a revolution or a civil war. So let that sink in. But this People's Act is just, again, it is complete and utter insanity. And what even makes me more insane is when I see these politicians go on the air and justify it. It makes it even worse. And then you have these people who hate America that have been elected into office, and now we have to sit and listen to their crap. And they call our president awful names, disgusting names. They have mock beheadings, they have mock shootings, mock murders of our president. All of which, if and when it did happen under the Obama regime, those people would they'd be taken out in the middle of the night, or at least the Secret Service would go to them and scare the snot out of them. But that doesn't happen now. These people they're allowed to get away with this crap, and then it manifests in this whole Jussie Smollett nonsense, where you have this idiot who the evidence is everywhere. The evidence is everywhere to his guilt, that even Rahm Emanuel came out and said this is a travesty of justice. I mean, Rahm Emanuel came out and said it. So how anybody even support this knucklehead is completely and utterly beyond me. This guy got away with federal crimes. And not only did he get away with it, it's completely wiped off the face of the earth. There's no record of it ever occurring. This district attorney, who, by the way, is very close to the Obamas and to Kamala Harris and to George Soros, ultimately, wiped the whole slate clean, as if it never even happened. But this is all tying into one another. I'm not just randomly jumping around. All of this is tying in because it's a way to subvert this country. I mean, it's subverting our very way of life. And we are in big, big trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Big trouble. Because you have these, they're brazen about it now. The left and the deep state and the rhino Republicans, they're very brazen about what they're doing. They don't care. They come right out and say, I mean, they even chatted, albeit lightly, about soft truth when all this stuff was started. Because they want to jump out of office.
John, your microphone.
Completely innocent of all these, no pun intended, trumped up charges. Now they're accusing Mueller as part of the friggin'.
John, your mic.
What?
John, you gotta stop for a second and watch your mic. You're kind of going in and out, buddy.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I'm kind of, in my haste, I'm pulling the phone away from me when I talk.
Yeah.
So anyway, as I was saying, that Mueller is now part of the conspiracy. This is how completely unhinged the left is. The very person that they were hanging their hat on, and I've watched montage after montage of the liberal elite established media talking about how the noose was tightening around President Trump, and eventually it's all going to come tumbling down, and there's this amount of evidence and that amount of evidence, and the impeachment is forthcoming, and when he gets out of office, he's going to be tried and potentially not only for high crimes and misdemeanors, but for treason for this. And then all of a sudden, Mueller comes out and very half-heartedly admits that there's no evidence to this collusion, and he was very ambiguous about it. But nevertheless, I mean, if there's no evidence, there's no evidence. And now the left wants the report. They want the whole report. And I went and I watched Trey Gowdy being interviewed about this, and he said, it's illegal for that to even happen. Excuse the car going by. Because there's sensitive information on there, there's classified information that cannot be released. But that's what they want to do, because they want to try and somehow clamp onto one little shred of negativity that they can take and run with for the 2020 election. These people are completely out of control, and it's very, very difficult for a man like me to remain passive about this. I'm getting pushed to the end of my limit. And then on top of all of this, we have Andrew Napolitano, who is somehow evidently showing his true colors as being a leftist, and he is saying that this report should be shown as well. So the world is just turning upside down. Bad is good, good is bad. I mean, it's just the insanity is just steamrolling forward. And I wake up in the morning and I just dread turning on my phone and looking at the news, because I know it's just going to be another piece of nonsense that I have to listen coming out of the mouths of these devilcrats, as I call them. It just they are taking a playbook, or they're taking a play right out of the Saul Alinsky handbook, Rules for Radicals, and they're accusing their enemy of doing exactly what they're doing. And the thing of it is, they're very effective at it. Adam Schiff, the Republicans were calling for him to step down from the chairmanship of the Judiciary Committee. And he turned it right back on him. These people are so adept at lying and disinformation. It's just second nature to them. They don't even have to think about it. They just do it. It's automatic. It's like a friggin' robot. They go right into defensive mode and they start attacking the attackers. And that's a Saul Alinsky, right out of the Saul Alinsky playbook. These people have read it. It's their Bible. Jeez, I can't believe it. And then you have the willing idiots out there, these low information voters, the Tide Pod eating idiots who are supporting these insane politicians. Folks, conservative people are truly ladies and gentlemen. They really are. Because I've watched time and time again where these leftists have gotten in their face and actually gotten physical with them. And with very few exceptions, they just sit back and take it. Because they don't want to get drawn in to the violent, potentially violent outcome. They want to take the higher ground. I've been told that time and time again. Don't drop to their level. Take the higher ground. The best revenge is living well. My big white butt. There comes a time when you got to fight fire with fire, and you got to go down on their level. And I'm sick and tired of seeing this stuff happen. I really am. And until people start standing up for themselves, it's just going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. I mean, to the point now where I watched a video about, I think it's in the Bronx, and they have this Islamic security force called the Muslim Patrol. What the hell is it? Muslim patrol something. Anyway, they have uniforms that are like New York City police. Their cars are painted very similar to New York City police. They use the same cars as the New York City police. And they're driving around the Muslim areas in the Bronx, and they're patrolling it to prevent anything from happening, quote unquote, from their people getting bullied and, made fun of and insulted and all that, like that happens. And these people are out of control too. And it's all being driven by these leftists, letting them all in. And it's just, they're overrunning our way of life. And it's getting to that point where we, the line in the sand has got to be drawn. But it's got to be drawn by everybody who wants America to be great. It can't fall on the shoulders of a selected few, like it always has. It's got to be as many people as possible. And I'm not talking necessarily about walking down into the square and wearing a MAGA hat. I'm talking about getting back in the faces of people who are, attacking elderly people, who are pushing their philosophies on everybody else, and then accusing us of doing the very same thing. Here in the Pennsylvania legislature, they opened up a session where one of the state reps said a prayer. And in that prayer, which evidently was a relatively long prayer, I don't remember how long it was, but at the end result was she invoked the name of Jesus during her prayer. Now, I've known atheists, and I mean real atheists, not agnostics, but genuine atheists, and even agnostics, and even New Agers, where I said I'll pray for them. And they're like, hey, thanks for the thought. I don't believe in that, but thanks for the thought nonetheless. So people who are solid in their beliefs, they're not going to take offense to somebody praying for them, regardless of what their religion is. A kind word is a kind word. But this Islamist woman, who's a state rep, made this huge issue out of it. And, all the leftists and politicians that are in the periphery of the deep state are jumping on board, and they're demanding that this state rep who said the prayer to apologize. It's okay for this Islamist to walk in wearing a hijab, but when somebody says a prayer wanting everybody to be healthy and be successful and so forth, and just uses the name Jesus, well, all of a sudden they're the evil one. I'm not pushing anybody to believe any one religion. All I'm saying is, if somebody wants to say a kind word and say a prayer for you, just shut up and let them do it. Everybody's so friggin' hypersensitive and offended by every little stinking thing. And I'm just so, oh my God, I just want to put my head through a plate glass. There's a woman, she's going around the United States, she wrote this book, and she's going to children's schools and shaming them, the white kids, on being white. I'm getting dizzy. I'm about to fall off my deck. I can't deal with this anymore. Anyway, this has been our outdoor rant room, and I appreciate you folks joining me. And any of you that watches this on YouTube, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Do something. Take a stand. And please, give me a comment. If you agree with me, that's great. If you disagree, let's talk about it. I'm up for it. And by all means, above anything, please head on over to thepatriotscorner.com. That's thepatriotscorner.com. Sign up. Let's chat over there. Get into the chat rooms. I got a rant room down there. You can sign up there. Whichever chat room you want to go in. But sign up and let's start a dialogue. Let's start a civil dialogue in the Patriots Corner, and let's get this thing turned around. It's got to be done. If we're not going to do it, we're doomed. So this is John Allward in the Rant Room, and I thank you for joining me. Everybody be blessed. Have a great night.
The Patriots Corner is proud to present Solumel. Solumel is a super cleaner, a stain remover, air freshener, cleaning booster, removes permanent marker, paint, ink, nail polish, tar, tree sap, gum, and more. Eliminates odors from smoking, pets, to mold to garbage. If you want to know more about this product, head on over to dpal.com.